he walked with the Messiah, heard the parables, saw the miracles, and yet he chose betrayal. This is not just the story of a man named Judas. It's a story of temptation, regret, prophecy, and the unfathomable mystery of free will. Welcome to A Vision of Heaven. In this episode, we journey into the final, chilling moments of Judas Iscariot, one of the most infamous figures in all of Scripture. He wasn't always a traitor. Judas Iscariot was there from the beginning, chosen, just like the others, trusted with more than just presents. He held the money bag, their treasurer, their keeper of resources. While others preached or healed, Judas managed what they had: quiet, reliable, respected. But Scripture speaks in undertones, brief mentions, subtle glances, as if warning us. A complaint here, a question there, a whisper that didn't quite belong. You wouldn't call it rebellion, not yet, but something beneath the surface had started to stir, and like a seed in shadow it began to grow, unnoticed. Not all betrayals begin with a scream. Some start in silence. Judas sat among the others, but his thoughts wandered elsewhere. He watched, he listened, but something in him remained untouched, a lingering dissatisfaction, a hunger, not for righteousness, but for control, for recognition, for something more. And when the others weren't looking, he questioned things in the quiet, not aloud, just enough to create distance between his heart and his teacher. It happened during a meal. A woman entered the room, carrying a jar of perfume. Not just any perfume, pure nard, worth a year's wages. She poured it over Jesus' feet, and while the scent filled the room, Judas snapped. "Why this waste? This could have been sold and given to the poor." But it wasn't about the poor. Not really. Jesus saw through it. He rebuked Judas, not with anger, but truth. And something broke. Judas stood and walked out, not just from the room, but from the path he once followed. His heart had made a choice. The sun had barely set when he arrived. He moved through the shadows, straight to the chief priests. They weren't surprised to see him. They'd seen the crack forming. And Judas? He didn't stall, he didn't stutter. "What will you give me," he asked, "if I hand him over to you?" 30 silver coins. The price of a slave. No questions, no resistance, just the sound of metal falling into his palm. A transaction made, but not yet felt. The betrayal had begun, but its weight hadn't landed. The room was dim. Candlelight flickered on clay walls. The meal had been prepared, but the air was heavy. Jesus sat among them, 12 men, 1 table. Then he spoke. "One of you will betray me." A silence fell like stone. One by one they asked, "Is it I, Lord?" even Judas. Jesus looked at him. "You have said it." And in that moment, slightly darker, something entered Judas. Not rage, not confusion, influence. He was still himself, but not only himself. He stood and walked into the night. And the table was never whole again. The night was still. Gethsemane lay in shadows. Jesus prayed, alone, while his friends slept nearby. Then came the sound. Footsteps, torches, armor, and Judas leading them. He walked ahead of the mob, eyes fixed on the one he once followed. He approached Jesus. No sword, no shout, just a kiss. A symbol of affection twisted into betrayal. Jesus didn't resist. "Friend," he said, "do what you came for." Friend, even now. Judas thought he controlled the moment, but prophecy had moved before him, and heaven stood silent. Morning came, but it brought no light to Judas. Jesus had been taken, condemned, beaten, and the silver burned in his hands. He rushed to the temple. "I have sinned," he cried. "I have betrayed innocent blood." But the priests looked away. Their deal was done. The coins hit the floor, cold, empty, final. And Judas ran. Not to Jesus, not to mercy. He ran into silence. And there, with the weight of his choice and no place to lay it down, he ended his story. Judas was close, closer than most. He heard the truth, he saw the love, he kissed the face of grace itself, and still he walked away. His name is stained in history, but his story is not so distant from ours. How many sit near truth, but never surrender to it? How many follow with their feet, but not with their hearts? This is not just a warning, it's a mirror, a reminder that presence isn't the same as faith, and that surrender must come from within. This has been a vision of heaven. Like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that reveal the unseen threads of Scripture. Until next time, stay in the light.